Most sales leaders running a $10 million book will tell you forecasting comes down to good methodology and clean CRM data. Almost none of them will tell you what's actually happening behind the scenes, because what's actually happening behind the scenes would get them in trouble. I've spent 27 years in enterprise sales, including time helping leaders manage books well over 10 million in annual revenue. There are 4 things sales leaders never say out loud about forecasting at this level. Let's get into it. The first thing they won't tell you, every sales leader running a book has 2 forecasts. There's the one they submit to the CRO, and there's the one they actually believe. The gap between these 2 numbers is usually about 15 to 25%. Here's what's actually happening. The leader looks at the pipeline objectively. Their honest forecast might be 7.5 million because they know walking into the executive meeting with that number means pressure, hard questions, and a quiet target on their back. So they'll pad it. They'll take 2 deals that are unlikely to close and push them into commit. Then take a deal that's already slipped twice and call it best case. They submit about 9.5 million. The CRO does the same thing. By the time the forecast hits the board, it's gone through 3 rounds of organized fiction. Nobody says it out loud, but this is the design of the system. Everybody knows. Nobody wants to be the first to surface real numbers. The second thing they'll never tell you, the deals you feel best about are the deals most likely to slip. This sounds so wrong. Confidence should correlate with closing. The opposite is actually true. Confidence usually comes from the rep having a strong rapport with the buyer. Lots of meetings, friendly conversations, the buyer feels engaged. The rep walks out of every call feeling great. The deal moves through stages, the probability goes up, everyone gets comfortable. The problem is that rapport and commitment are different things entirely. A buyer who enjoys the conversations will also slow walk the deal, ask for more information, and quietly let a competitor in the back door. Behavior does not match the relationship temperature. Meanwhile, the deals nobody loves, the ones that are slightly cold buyer who keeps things short and asks hard questions, are usually closer to commit. They're treating it like a transaction because they're actually serious about the transaction. The third thing nobody will tell you, forecasting accuracy gets worse the more you talk to reps about their deals. This is counterintuitive and probably the most uncomfortable one for managers. The standard ritual is a weekly pipeline review. The manager asks the rep about the deal, the rep talks, the manager updates the forecast based on what the rep has said. The problem is that the rep is the worst possible source of objective information about their own deals. They have an emotional and a financial investment in every deal looking real. They're not lying so much as optimizing for the version of reality that makes them look good in the meeting. Across the teams I've worked with, rep-reported probability is consistently one of the least predictive variables for whether a deal will close. What predicts closing is observable buyer behavior. Did the buyer respond to the last email quickly? Did they introduce you to procurement? Did they put a date on the calendar they can't move? The best forecasters have stopped asking reps how confident they are in the deal. They ask what evidence the buyer has actually put on the table. The fourth thing they won't tell you, the deals in your pipeline aren't stuck, they're dead. Everyone in the room knows it. Nobody wants to be the one to call it out. If a deal has been sitting in stage 4 for over 60 days with no buyer-driven movement, it's almost certainly not going to close. Real deals have momentum, they have new context being added, new meetings being requested, procurement starts to ask questions, and clear next steps after every call. Dead deals don't have that signal. They sit there generating fake pipeline coverage. Reps avoid removing the deal because it makes their pipeline drop. Managers avoid forcing the conversation because their team's pipeline shrinks and the CRO starts asking questions. The CRO doesn't want a smaller number for the board, and the board doesn't want a smaller number to take to the street. So the deal stays for months, for quarters. The mechanism that breaks this is brutal, but it works. A weekly meeting where every deal in stage 4 or later has to be defended out loud. What evidence do you have that this is moving? If the rep can't answer it in 30 seconds, the deal comes off the board. In most teams, this removes a meaningful chunk of the pipeline the first time. What's left is real, and the forecast really starts predicting reality. Here's the meta point. Forecasting at this level isn't really a math problem. The math is downstream an honesty problem. Every sales organization has a forecast that everyone privately knows is soft, but nobody is incentivized to surface the real number. The orgs that fix this are the ones where leadership creates a safe space to surface the truth without political punishment. If you're running a sales organization where the forecast keeps shifting and you suspect the pipeline isn't as clean as the report suggests, that's the work I do, especially around strategic accounts driving most of your revenue. Book a call with me using the link in the description below. We'll look at where your forecast is leaking, honestly, and what it would take to fix it. And if you want to know how I scaled an Amazon account to $9 billion, watch this video here.